Hi, this is Kathy with City Farmhouse Studio. Today I want to talk to you about this great crochet sweater wrap. This little wrap is great for the transitional seasons, but also great to feel nice, cozy, and warm in the winter where you just want a little something special. The link to the pattern is down in the description below. So for this pattern, I used the Yarn Bee Yartopia line. This yarn is 100% acrylic. It is a category 2 fine yarn, so it is very lightweight. And for a 4-ounce, 113-gram ball, it has 312 yards, 285 meters. So for this pattern, you do need a size H hook. It is a 5mm. And to begin, you start off with a slip knot. And then you chain the specified dimensions. Now the sizing is for 3 different sizes. It's almost a one-size-fits-all, but since this does go around bust and we all have a little bit different bust sizes, there are 3 different sizes. So pick the one closest to yours. So you begin with a very loose chain in your desired specified number of stitches. So between the chain and the row 1, that is the hardest part of the pattern for the body and of the sleeve. The chain, just making sure you can count up that high without skipping stitches or losing track. Use stitch markers if you need to divide it up and help you keep track of what you have and what you need. And then besides that, row 1 is the next complicated. Not because of the stitches it's used, but because this is what creates the pattern going forward. So you need to make sure that you don't skip anything or mess up on your combinations. Just take your time, go back if you need to, and get this line up set so that each row thereafter is a breeze. So for row 1, how it begins is a double crochet in the 3rd chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3. In a double crochet, you just wrap your yarn around your hook, go into your stitch, pull up a loop, pull a loop through the first 2 loops, and a loop through the last 2 loops. Now for this pattern, we want to double crochet twice in that first stitch space, that first chain. So I'll make another one. And what this does is create as if you would have double crocheted 3 times in that one chain. So this turning chain acts like our first double crochet. So 1, 2, 3. So 3 double crochets in the 1 hook. Now I want to double crochet once in the next 3 stitches. So I'll pull up a loop. So that's 1, 2, 3. Now I want to double crochet 3 together twice, but let's do the first one a bit slow. So to begin a double crochet 3 together, go ahead and wrap your hook as if to begin a regular double crochet. Insert into the next space, pull up a loop, and pull through as if you would a normal double crochet. Now you want to stop there and go ahead and wrap your hook again, insert it into the next stitch, pull up a loop, go through 2, and then do that once more. So you're basically creating half of each of the double crochets and leaving that last yarn loop on your hook, so that once you have all 3 stitches plus that beginning loop on your hook, you pull all the way together to create 3 together. Now the instructions said I needed to do that twice, so go ahead and repeat that, making 3 of those partial double crochets. And then when you have all 4, pull through. And then you double crochet once in the next 3 stitches. And now I need to do an increase, so double crochet 3 times in the next stitch. And that's so for the next line up, I have enough stitches to keep making these double crochet 3s together. So in this next stitch, I want to make 3 double crochets. So that essentially is the pattern. However, remember we started with the chain 2 as the first double crochet. So now, since we're past that, we can really start the pattern repeat. So we need to come back down on the other half. So you go ahead and start again with the 3 double crochets in the 1 stitch. Then the 3 double crochets in 3 stitches. Now I want to do the 3 together. So I make my 3 partials. Pull all the way through. You want to repeat that. 3 together. Three double crochets. 1 in each of the next 3 stitches. And then 3 and 1. So there you can really start to see the chevron shape being pulled. And you just continue repeating that down the line of crochet stitches. So once you come to the end of the row of chains, you end with the 3 double crochets in the 1 stitch. And if you've come to this far, you can finish it, because that is the hardest bit. So now for row 2, you begin with that chain 2 as a turning chain. And just like this first row where the chain 2 that we skipped over counted as a double crochet, so does this. So we are going to go ahead and go into that last top of the double crochet from the previous row and make 2 more double crochets. So remember, in the pattern, for the pattern repeats, we have 3 double crochets, 3 in 1 stitch, 3 individual double crochets, and then 3 together, and then back up to the together singles and 3 in 1 stitch. We need to repeat that going back. So we've started with that 3 double crochet in 1 stitch. Now we need to do 3 individual double crochets, and then your decrease of 3 double crochets all together. And this gives you a little bit easier because you have something to hold on to. And also that last double crochet should come through where your double crochet 3 together was before. So if you do not make that partial double crochet, the third one, in the final pull through of the row before, you know you've messed something up on this side and you need to go back and see what you've skipped, or if your count is off. So now to work back up, we do the 3 double crochet together, the 3 individual ones, and then 3 in 1 space. And again, to check, you want to make sure your 3 in 1 space is on the last double crochet of the 3 in 1 space from the row before. So you can see that these 3 stitches are all in that 1 space. 1, 2, 3. So this is my 3rd double crochet. As we're going this way, it was the first to make, but I want to make 3 double crochets in that, and that keeps the repeats all in line. And then we just keep repeating what we did before with the 3 in 1 space. Three individual double crochets. Three together. Now, again, I'm going in for that last partial, and I can tell this stitch has all 3 coming together from the row before, so I know I haven't missed anything. Make another 3 together. And again, when you get to the end of the row, You'll need to make your 3 in one chain or in one space in the top of your turning chain from the previous row. Okay. So there you can start. Now you'll just keep repeating that row 2 until you have your number of rows that is specified in the pattern, and then you'll bind off and start the sleeve. So for the sleeve, you again begin with a slip knot and a chain. And then you will single crochet in the second chain from the hook and continuing on down. Okay, now row 2, you need to chain 1, and from here on out you're just going to be single crocheting in the front loop. So whenever you look at the top of your single crochet, you see like these little hearts. You want to just single crochet through the one side that's closest to you. So if you're working towards this direction, it's the loop that is facing me. So just the one, you make a single crochet. You continue working on down. Okay. So there I can tell that little knot twist on the end is my turning chain. And I can even count. I have the correct number of stitches. Now at the end of row 2, it will say that you need to chain an additional number of stitches. And this is to create the length of your sleeve. So where most sweaters start either at the cuff or further up by where it'll attach towards your body and your shoulders, and then you decrease along the sides to come down, and you're working this way. To get the striped pattern in the row, we are working this way. So what your beginning chain is does not go around your arm or your wrist. It is actually part of the side seam. So we will need to start increasing chaining by chaining, turning and working back to start getting this longer length. You'll then make a section that is just even rows, and then you will work back and forth where you don't go all the way to the end of the row, and it's staggered so that whenever you seam, those stitches nestle in between each one, so you don't have huge big chunks. So if we went there, you would be having to fit in all of that, and you'd get little puckers. So this just helps minimize that bulky decrease. So now that you see we're going the length of the sleeve, don't get concerned that this does not fit your wrist or your arm. It's not meant to. So go ahead and chain what you need to chain. And then on row 3, again, you're going to single crochet in those chain stitches, skipping the first chain. Now, because you are going to be single crocheting in the front loop, out of habit, I always work with that ridge facing away from me. when you make a chain, that little ridge stitch. And I have a habit of working on the top. That's just how I do it. But since we're going to be working in that front loop, if I do that, then it twists. So just to keep things neat and uncomplicated, work with the ridge towards you. And that way, whenever we get to where we need to single crochet in the front loops of what we've already done, make 2 more. It goes straight on into that stitch, no twisting, and just one less thing to get confused on. So go ahead and single crochet to the end of the row. The pattern will tell you how many stitches you should have as single crochets. And then once you do your last single crochet, turn, and we're going to basically be repeating that of working the row that you did the row before, and then chaining to increase it. The sizes that are the second and largest size will have additional repeats. The largest size has the most repeats. So you just continue working this till you get the specified number of stitches for your size, till there are enough of these little stair steps of decreases. So I'll do one more. So I'm at the end of the row, so I need to chain. And then turn. Again, I'm having that ridge towards me. So I can again just single crochet in the second chain from the hook. And in each of those new chains, and then the front loops on down the entire length of what we have as a sleeve length so far. All right, so there you can start to see the little stair steps. So then once you have your correct number of stitches for the entire length, just keep working straight rows all the way down, even with your stitch numbers. And that will get you the width you need to make around your wrist, around your upper arm, for the most part, upper arm. We still got to come back for those decreases, so you're not quite there on the upper arm yet. So the pattern will tell you to work so many stitches and to leave so many stitches unworked. Okay, so this is going to start the decreases that are staggered. And then chain 1 and work back. And then this decrease of that first row is about half what you did of the previous row, or the increase section. And that's to get these next decreases lining up in the middle. The next rows will be the same amount as what you did for the increases. -1, because you don't need the turning chain. So how I increased as a 6, chained 6, but I only had 5 double crochets, single crochets. So now go ahead and work back down the row, and I'm going to leave that full number left unworked. Again, not what you chained, because the chain included the turning chain. 3, 4. So I chained 6, so that means I'd have 5 increases. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there's my 6th. Chain 1 and turn, and work back the other way. And just like the front, you keep on repeating this. The larger the size, the more repeats you have. But it's not that complicated once you know how you're making it. Making sure it's in the front loop only. And so there you can see how we'll start. We'd have more width in there, obviously, but you can see how those staggers will start to line up in between. So when you seam, it'll line up easier and smoother. Go ahead and make 2 of those according to the directions. Once you have your sleeves complete and your body, you will then line up the straight edge of the body to the long edge of the sleeve and sew those together. I like to use the zipper join, and I have a tutorial that I'll link in the description as well. And then once you have that all sewn in together, so once your sleeve is attached to the body, just seam in from the top of the sleeve to the cuff. The body of this garment will be open. So I've gone ahead and done a zipper join through the 2 edges for the wave and the sleeve to attach those. And then the sleeve, I'm just slip stitching through the 2 edges to join those. So from the foundation chain, going through the 2, kind of looks like 2 loops, but it's makes one big space. And then going into each of the single crochet tops from my last rows and where we decreased. And just doing stitch by stitch for that. So from the space on the chain, going into the top of where we last worked for all the decreases, stitch by stitch. And then when you get to the end, just chain 1 and single crochet evenly around your cuff. And this will just give you a nice clean finished edge. And a little detail. to finish your sweater wrap. And then when you get to the beginning of the round, slip stitch in your first single crochet, chain one and turn and do one more round of single crochets. After this, you'll bind off. After that, slip stitch through the first single crochet, weave in all of your ends, and I'll show you how to style and wear this crochet wrap sweater. Thank you for watching. I hope you really enjoyed this fun little sweater wrap. Please be sure to like and subscribe so you never miss out on any other great tutorials from City Farmhouse Studio. Thanks again. Bye.